Good morning, friends. Today we are going to study about the cell disruption techniques. In the previous lecture, we had discussed about the various techniques of good laboratory practices and good microbiological practices. Now, today we are going in the last point of this particular unit is cell disruption techniques. Okay, in this technique, we will see how to break upon the cells and release the cytoplasmic inclusions which are present in the cells. Now, introduction of to cell disruption. Cell disruption is the process of obtaining intracellular fluid via methods that open the cell wall. Now, the overall goal in cell disruption is to obtain the intracellular fluid without disrupting any of its components. The method which is used may vary depending on the type of the cell and its cell wall composition. Irrespective of the method used, the main aim is that the disruption must be effective and the method should not be too harsh so that the product recovered remains in its active form. Many techniques are available in the lab in the limited number, but very few have been proved to be suitable for large scale cell disruption. Why we need cell disruption, students? Because we have to remove the components such as enzymes, the amino acids, the amines, then the antibiotics which are being produced intracellularly, or for DNA isolation or the nucleotides, the purines and pyrimidine synthesis. We need the DNA, we need the macromolecules, we need the antibiotic which is produced in intracellular, if intracellularly it is produced. But most of the antibiotics are produced extracellularly only. But other components which are acids, then amines, then enzymes, most of the enzymes are extracellular, but some are intracellular. So to remove these components from the cell, we have to disrupt the cell. Okay. Now, what are the elements of a cell structure in a prokaryotic cell? So they do not contain a membrane enclosed nucleus, and they are classified as either eubacteria, commonly called as bacteria and archaea. The characteristics of the cell envelopes vary with type. The envelope generally consists of a cytoplasmic membrane and a cell wall. The membrane is composed primarily of the proteins and the lipids, which maintains the concentration gradients, while the wall provides the main mechanical strength. Now, the bacterial cell wall, it protects the plasma membrane and the cytoplasm from osmotic stress. So, very thick gram-positive bacteria have very thick cell wall. They are stained purple with crystal violet, and the gram-negative bacteria, they have the thin cell wall. They show pinkish to red color. They have the space between the plasma membrane and the peptidoglycan periplasm. Now, this peptidoglycan structure, if you can see, it is bigger in the case of gram positive bacteria, and in gram negative bacteria it is very less. But in case of gram negative bacteria, you will find a larger layer of lipopolysaccharides and protein, and the periplasmic space is present. Okay. And now the elements of the cell structure. Now the cell wall is rigid, and the cytoplasm is collapses within the plasma membrane, while cell wall does not. Now the concentration of salts and neutral solutes lower than 0.3 osmolar outside the cell force the water into the cell. That is called as a turgor pressure. Okay, too much turgor can break the cell wall. It causes lysis, and the situation can aid cell disruption. So various techniques are there. Hypertonic environment. We can create a hypertonic environment. We can create hypotonic environment. In the isotonic environment, what happens? The concentration of solute outside and inside is the same, and that's why the cell does not get disrupted. But in hypertonic or in hypotonic environment, you can disrupt the cell wall. Now the phospholipid molecule, if you can see here, this is a phospholipid molecule, and its outline is a cell plasma membrane formed by the phospholipids with their polar head groups in the contact with aqueous phases. Now, elements of cell structure, that is eukaryotic cells, they contain the nuclei and the organelles. They are more complicated than the prokaryotic cells. The byproducts may have to be released from intracellular particles and coated with the membranes and consists of large macromolecular aggregates. All cell membranes, including those of bacteria, as a separate immiscible liquid phase related to the rest of the cell. Animal cells do not, you know that animal cells do not have cell wall, while the cell wall in the plants is very thick. In bacterial cells, the cell wall is not so thick as the plant cells. Now, the cell membrane of animal cells is easily broken, but the whereas the cell wall of plant is very strong and relatively difficult to break. So, the eukaryotic cells, we can see this is the animal cell in the left side, and then in the right side you can see the plant cell whose cell wall is very thick in structure. Okay. Now, how to create the cell lysis? Now, there are two principal means of lysing the lysis of cells to obtain their contents, that is a chemical cell lysis and a physical destruction via mechanical force. So, changes in the osmotic pressure can also be attained, which involves modification of a chemical potential that actually results in a mechanical force. Surfactants and enzymes can also be used or added to the cell suspension, which act by dissolving the portion of the cell membrane and cell wall, and they can disrupt the cells. Means surfactants, and surfactants means the detergents. They are responsible for removing the or solubilizing the cell membrane, which can remove the cytoplasmic inclusions which are present. Because chemical lysis conditions are detrimental to some byproducts, sometimes necessary to use pure physical force methods. The various cell lysis methods are categorized here in this table. You can see this table where chemical in the chemical treatment, the technique which is used is osmotic shock treatment, and the principle which is there is osmotic rupture of membrane, and the stress is gentle and the cost is very cheap. Okay, and it causes rupture of the red RBCs. Now, second is the enzyme digestion, where the cell wall is digested, causing the rupture, and the stress is gentle and cost, but the cost is very expensive because enzymes have to be purified from the plant cells or animal cells or the bacterial cells, and then after purification they are to be used. That's why it has a very high expense ratio. So, Mycobacterium lysodicticus is treated with egg lysozyme for the removal of the cell wall. Then solubilization by chemicals, that is detergents solubilize membrane. Here also the stress is gentle and the cost is moderate. The bile salts are acting on E. coli. Now, the next is lipid dissolution, that is organic solvent dissolves in the membrane and destabilizes the cell. Then the stress is moderate, cost is cheap, and toluene disruption of yeast. Okay, toluene is used for disruption of the yeast cells. Okay, next is alkali treatment, saponification of lipids which dissolves the membranes, and the stress is very harsh. Alkaline treatment, and it is very cheap. And nucleic acid extraction, for nucleic acid extraction you can use this method of alkaline. Means alkali treatment means you can use NaOH or KOH method for saturated KOH or unsaturated NaOH for disrupting the cell walls. Okay, mechanical stress means we have to give the physical stress on the cells. Homogenization is one of the technique which consists of the blade or pestle type grinding. These cells are chopped in the blender or sheared. Then the cells are ruptured by grinding with the abrasives. Now, the in both of the cases in homogenization, the stress is moderate and the cost is moderate and cheap. In animal tissues, you can use homogenization, and for yeast enzymes also you can use the homogenization technique. Ultrasonication method, here the cell is broken by the sonic cavitation, and the stress is very harsh, it is expensive, and the cell suspensions on small scale they can be subjected to ultrasonication, but for large scale you cannot use it. Then the pressure Cell, pressure cell. The cells are broken by the shear when forced through a small hole. Then the stress is very harsh, moderate cost is there, and large scale treatment of cell suspensions can be carried out. Then ball mill, where the bearing like balls are used. The cells are crushed between the glass or steel balls or the glass beads, and the treatment is very harsh. It is cheap, and large scale treatment of cell suspensions and plant tissues can be carried out. If you like this lecture, please hit the like button and share this video and subscribe my YouTube channel. If you have any doubts, you can WhatsApp me personally. Thank you. Thank you very much.